Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina! That is 2-1 to Arsenal!
Look at that point! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal! And it's that man, Gabriel!
Liverpool have equalised! Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones!
Oh, what a goal! Wow! Take it out!
Hello, good evening and welcome to the Commentary Hub's alternative audio coverage of the Premier League Week 14, and our game is Fulham against Manchester City. Fulham come into this game after a mixed start to the season with only 17 points from 13 matches. However, they won 2-1 away against Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday. That shows that they could be back on, that they could have a resurgence, but inconsistency still is a big talking point of their season. Just 3 wins from their last 8. Nevertheless, Craven Cottage, where the game is, has been a reliable source of points, with Fulham recording 4 wins, 1 draw, and only 1 defeat at home. So they'll be looking for more home comforts. They'll be looking for more home comforts tonight. Manchester City, second in the Premier League standings with 25 points, 8 wins, 1 draw and 4 defeats. They may have been less consistent in previous years, but their goal record of 27 scored and 12 conceded demonstrates that their attacking threat remains formidable, but they have lapsed defensively in recent times. So now I'm your alternative host, Nicholas Jones, and in the commentary box, getting himself ready to go, is Russ Vernon. And Russ, there are a few changes, I understand, regarding Fulham.
Yes, Nicholas, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good evening, depending where you are across the world. Welcome to the Commentary Hub's coverage of Fulham against Manchester City. Fulham have made 2 changes for tonight's game, with Sasa Lukic and Emil Smith-Rowe coming in for Josh King and Samuel Chukwueze, respectively. Both of those players dropped down to the substitutes bench. As for Manchester City, they've named the exact same side, which overcome Leeds United 3-2 the weekend, thanks to Phil Foden's last-minute winner against Daniel Farke's side. And this one should be a good game this evening at Craven Cottage. Who will come out on top? I wonder. Join us shortly for full match commentary as Fulham take on Man City at Craven Cottage.
Thanks, Russ, and we're just thanks, Russ, and we're just going to take a look. At the moment. So just need to do a bit of adjustment there. That there will be 3 fixtures tonight. There's going to be 6. There's going to be 6 tomorrow and 1 on Thursday. So this is likely to be an exciting and thrilling midweek set of fixtures in the Premier League. We're just about a few minutes away from kickoff. So now let's cross over to Russ to check the lineups.
Thank you very much then, Nicholas. Good evening, everybody. Welcome along then to Craven Cottage, and what a good game this is expected to be tonight. Manchester City come into this game, as I said, on back of a 3-2 victory over Leeds United on Saturday evening. Tottenham Hotspur were the team that Fulham faced on the weekend, and they came through that with a 2-1 victory over Spurs, thanks to a goal which was well taken by Harry Wilson to put them 2-0 in front in that game very early on there. The teams are in the tunnel ahead of kick-off. Gavin Matter there, hugging one of the mascots who's in the tunnel, talking to a few of the players as well. There's Erling Haaland, who is 1 goal away from his 100th goal in the Premier League for Manchester City. So then, as I mentioned a few moments ago, 2 changes for Fulham tonight. Lucas Smith goes in for King and Chukwueze. The teams are still in the tunnel right now, and let's run you through the teams in full. Then it's for Fulham is Ben Leno in goal, Kenny Tete, Joachim Anderson, Calvin Batsy, and Ryan Session, Joachim Anderson, the captain. It is Sanderberg and Sasa Lukic in midfield. Harry Wilson, Emil Smith-Rowe, and Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi moving forward from the defensive midfield role last time out to play on the left of the 3 behind the lone striker of Raul Jimenez. On the bench then, you can see there is Josh King, who's dropped down to the bench as I mentioned. Samuel Chukwueze on the bench as well. Kusa Asare on the bench there as well. Chukwueze, as I mentioned, on the bench. Quena, Castagna, Ket. Some weeks coming off of the bench as well as starting in a few games as well. As I mentioned, then Manchester City, they are unchanged from their 3-2 victory over Leeds United at the weekend, should I say. 2-man Phil Foden starts again in the attack, and they line up like this. Gianluigi Donnarumma starts and goal, beaten twice by Leeds United at the weekend. Calvert-Lewin, and a penalty from Lucas Mecha was initially saved before the former Man City player Lucas Mecha put in the rebound. The midfielders, the defence for City is Núñez, Diaz, Gavardio, he was one of the other goal scorers of the weekend. Foden with a brace as well, he's also funders from Foden. Nico O'Reilly to left back. Reinders, Gonzalez and Bernardo Silva in midfield with Foden, Haaland and Doku in the attack. On the bench then, Omar Marusho came off the bench of the weekend. Didn't really get a sniff against Leeds United, especially in the 6th half, and Leeds changed to a 3-5-2. John Stones also came off the bench of the weekend. He's also there. Ake, Enuric, Cherki, Kuzanov, Lewis, Savinho, and James Trafford, who, according to reports, is wanting to leave the Etihad this winter to earn regular game time. Let's take a look then at the match officials for tonight's game. Then, as you can see there, your match officials are Craig Pawson. He's the referee, assisted by Lee Betts and Matt Wilkes. Tony Harrington is our 4th official duty this evening. And in Stockley Park, on the VAR, it is Paul Howard, assisted by Adam Nunnan. As we mentioned, the presenter tonight is Nicholas Jones, and your match commentator is Russ Vernon. Hopefully you can enjoy the coverage for us this afternoon. Man City in their change strip tonight of black, by the looks of it here. All black it looks like for Manchester City tonight, rather than their sky blue, but we'll have to confirm for that for you in just a second. But it doesn't look like we're in all black Manchester City today, but we'll get confirmation of that in a few moments' time as we get ready for kick-off in this game. There are also a few other games taking place this evening. Just got confirmation that it is black for Manchester City tonight. There's the other scores going across to the bottom of the screen. Bournemouth and Everton kick off at 7:15 like us here at Craven Cottage. The other game tonight, Newcastle Tottenham, is a Matchday kick-off. The scores going across the bottom of the screen will be where you can be kept up to date with that game today. As Nicholas mentioned, also Man City are in all black this evening there. Phil Foden 2 goals versus Leeds on Saturday, 1 goal in his previous 20 Premier League appearances prior to the game at the Etihad and the weekend. Haaland, as I mentioned, 1 goal away from 100 Premier League goals for Manchester City. Can he get that all-important 100th tonight as Manchester City look to keep up the pace with Arsenal, who are still at the top of the table and hard to beat? Or they're going to stay in action tomorrow, as you can see across the bottom of your screen, against Brentford. Brighton against Aston Villa, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Wolves, Nottingham Forest, Leeds, Chelsea, Liverpool, Sunderland are the other games tomorrow. The Thursday night football is Manchester United against West Ham. And the other 2 games tonight is Bournemouth against Everton, which kick off the same time as us, as I said, and Newcastle versus Tottenham also is this evening. That's a 8:15 kick-off. And We're about to get this game off and underway then at Craven Cottage in Manchester. To get this game off and underway, and we're now underway in this Premier League encounter. As the ball is sent forward, as Haaland is there. Phil Foden trying to win the ball inside the Fulham penalty area, and there's a good piece of defensive work from Sanderberg to clear the ball away. It's out for the throw to Manchester City, which Diaz takes quickly to Josko Gvardiol. Back in there to Ruben Diaz, who were put under pressure in the second half by Leeds United, when Leeds United got back into the game against the Citizens. Here's Gvardiol now as he looks to come forward down this left-hand side. He will roll the ball back to Gianluigi Donnarumma, who surprisingly is fit to play today after going down with what would like to be an injury at the weekend. A tactical injury may have seemed to be. Here's Gvardiol into the path there of Nico Gonzalez, who drops in to make it a back three at times for Manchester City. And now Josko Gvardiol gets it from Ruben Diaz. Gvardiol trotting up towards halfway, and to the left is Nico O'Reilly. Back to Josko Gvardiol, and got all the way back inside his own penalty area to Gianluigi Donnarumma, the Italian, who pull this ball back to the left, and Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol back into Donnarumma, who takes touch with his right boot, who's all in green with a bit of pink stripe down the side. Is Gianluigi Donnarumma. From all in white today, incidentally, from attacking the goal away to my right, if you're just joining us here. As Nico Gonzalez leaves it for Tijani Reinders this time, and Reinders is this one dropping back into defence. There's Jeremy Doku, spins away from his man, and they're trying to come forward here, Manchester City. There's no fast start for the Citizens tonight, like they were against Leeds United at the weekend. And here is Matheus Nunes, who was instrumental in the opening goal. He's come back down for Foden at the weekend, and he remains Fulham 0, Man City 0 early on. If you're just joining us this evening, we'll keep you up to date with all the other scores as and when the goals go in the Premier League. There's Doku towards the penalty towards Reinders, and Haaland was in there too. And he's had a play for a throw-in to Manchester City. 2.5 minutes played here. Here is Nunes again. He's going back from Phil Foden as the throw-in was taken fairly quickly. And he's dropped it back here to Ruben Diaz. Diaz will look up and find Phil Foden. Back into Diaz again halfway. Diaz trips the ball down the right-hand channel looking for the run of Matheus Nunes. And Ryan Sessegnon read that situation well and watched the ball bounce out for a goal kick. He remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 0 in the Premier League here this evening. And what a game we've got in prospect tonight. Here comes Calvin Bassett, who takes a short goal kick to Bern Leno, and now he's across with Kenny Tete, who can bring this ball forward. Kenny Norris charged down out of play for a throw into Fulham, which will be taken here by Harry Wilson-Williams. Now we will leave it to aforementioned Kenny Tete, who will throw it inside there to Sanderberg. Back to Tete again, who's been put under pressure this time from Tijani Reinders. There's Rocky Madison under pressure from Dirk, who gets it down the line and out of play for a throw into the Citizens. We're approaching the 4th minute of this game. Remains goalless. Just joining us. Here is Smith Rowe back into Tete, who loses out to Reinders. Reinders just keeping his foot in as he almost slipped there. Here's O'Reilly back into Gonzalez. Nico Gonzalez, known on the back of his shirt by Nico. And here is Josko Gvardiol. We'll ball our wide to Matheus Nunes. Up from the right back spot back into Ruben Diaz. And now Josko Gvardiol again, who can play centre back or left back in Josko Gvardiol. That's a wonderful cross for a pass to Matheus Nunes. Inside to Phil Foden. Foden, edge of the penalty area. Goes across to Jeremy Doku. Can he line up a strike here? Doku records. He takes a deflection. Headed away by Fulham. Only as far as Gonzalez. Here's O'Reilly this time though. Gonzalez again, back on halfway. Josko Gvardiol. What can he do here with possession? Gvardiol inside to Nico Gonzalez. Across now to Bernardo Silva. Down the line it goes to Mateus Nunes. Back to Bernardo Silva. Was meant to start on the left of the midfield, switched across to the right. Him and Rangers have switched, and that's what the City midfielders do. They like to switch from left to right. Sometimes Gonzalez goes out wide on this near side, and Rangers goes into the middle. Sometimes Bernardo goes into the middle, and Rangers goes out to the far side of the right. As it's Foden gets it through to Haaland. Early Haaland's inside, and Early Haaland's in the post. And Manchester City really should be one up there. Erling Haaland really should have put Manchester City 1-0 up there inside the opening 5.5 minutes. And he hits the post and he bounces back out to safety. Fulham cut open there. Foden, wonderful pass. And Erling Haaland just hits the post. And so unlucky, he bounces away. And that really should be 1-0 there to Manchester City. Fulham let off there. Nunes clears the ball down the line for Haaland again. He's going down on the challenge of Calvin Bassing. The referee gives a free kick, and only a free kick here is what the referee has given. Still goalless in the other in the other game that's under the same time as us, between FC Bournemouth and Everton. As you can see going across the bottom of your screen. Looks like Tottenham is a 8:15 kick-off for that game at St James's Park, and we'll bring you up to date with all that scoreline as well until we go off air this evening as we bring you this game tonight. Here is Mateus Nunes to Bernardo Silva, back to Nunes, and again round setting on Nunes, does well, back to Bernardo, infield to Gonzalez. Now, Joshua Gavardio inside the centre circle, midway inside the Fulham half. Across the centre circle to Ruben Dias, who gets the ball out wide to Mateus Nunes. Bad there now to Bernardo Silva. Chip ball in towards the run. Right angel of the Fulham penalty area, looking for the run of to Johnny Ryan, who got in there and he's forced past it to clear it out of play for a throw-in. Coming up towards 7.5 minutes very shortly, and remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 0 here in the Premier League. If you're just joining us tonight, fantastic start to the game from both these sides. It is Phil Foden bringing it down inside the penalty area, just losing down there to Batty in the final moment. Here's Jimenez, wonderful ball over the top, looking for the run of Harry Wilson, and Wilson's in behind him. Wonderful control, plays the ball in towards Smith Rowe, and that's good piece of defending from Ruben Dias, who gets back and defends it really, really well there. Wonderful bit of play. You can see this here, wonderful ball over the top, and Harry Wilson's in behind here. He pulls it in towards Smith Rowe, who tried to get a strike away, and Fulham almost got City out of the bad there, and Ruben Dias had to get back there to put the block in and put it behind for the corner. Fulham 0, Man City 0 is the scoreline. We'll keep you bang up to date with the scores here as we watch this game unfold. Still goes at Bournemouth against Everton. It will be the corner kick. He's whipped in towards the penalty. Nunes heads the ball away. And City can try and break if they can get this in front of Doku. His back was behind him, so he had to go back there to Gavardio, who does well. Somewhere from Kenny Tete and Nico Gonzalez. Phil Foden dropping all the way back to make sure he can get on possession. Here is Foden again, just inside the City half. Across the centre circle to Johnny Reinders. Reinders. And now this left hand side into Doku. Back into Vardio. Foden. Can't get to the left hand side, and here's Raul Jimenez. He goes down on the challenge of Nico Gonzalez, and there's a foul on Raul Jimenez, and it's a free kick here to Fulham, and there is the free kick. No booking there for Nico Gonzalez. You just look at this again, is it? Could it be a booking? No, not for me. Nico Gonzalez just knew what he was doing, just made sure he couldn't get through, and just blocked him off. Just a free kick there as we watch this game unfold tonight. It is Bournemouth 0, Everton 0, Wolverhampton 0, Tottenham 0. That don't go for around another 20 minutes or so. As is, Jeremy Doku was away, but Doku was put out an arm on to Harry Wilson. And Wilson's gone down here. Is the referee going to give a talking to here to Doku? We're just watching him run away. He just puts his throws him back there. And Jeremy Doku as he's trying to get away. And a free kick to Fulham. Following Harry Wilson by Jeremy Doku. And just a free kick only. No talking to, or no booking for the Man City player. As Lukic takes a free kick to Joachim Andersen. Good ball. Fall from Anderson is too much on that one there. And he bounces behind for a goal kick to Fulham. To Man City, should I say, against Fulham. And we'll keep you bang up to date with the score. Still 11 minutes going in the other game as well. And it is 0-0 between Bournemouth and Everton. We'll keep you up to date with the scoreline from that game throughout the evening here on the commentary tonight. Anderson, find Tete, infield there, it goes, and now here comes Harry Wilson, good bit of play from Wilson here, infield, it goes again to Tete, now Wilson drops it back there now to Joachim Andersen. Back he goes now to Leno, the goalkeeper, who can send this ball long downfield. It will break in now for Nunes to clear upfield. On this was Alex Iwobi, who's dropping deep as well into a midfield three at times with Sasa Lukic and Sanderberg. It seems to be Lukic on the right, Berg in the middle, Iwobi on the left, where Iwobi can get forward and support the left-hand channel as well, and support the likes of Alex Iwobi. No, he's Alex Iwobi, I'm talking about, he can support the likes of, well, Jimenez, Emil Smith-Rowe, Harry Wilson in the attack, third as well as helping out defensively when he tracks back. Here is Joachim Andersen for Fulham. He sends the ball out wide, looking for that run of Alex Iwobi. Iwobi's there. What can Iwobi do here now? Takes on his man, which is Phil Foden. Still going. Here's Mateus Nunes. And he's picked up well here by Ryan Sessegnon again. A City or not really convincing in possession at the moment. Sanderberg drops it back here to Joachim Andersen by Calvin Bassett. Now Tete drops it all the way back to Burn Leno, all in pink tonight it looks like. Burn Leno, down the line it goes here to Sasa Lukic, who loses out to O'Reilly. Ball forward from Doku, looking for the run of Randers' paw as Alex Iwobi picks up possession and now plays it to Emil Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe charging down the left hand side. Down the line to Ryan Sessegnon. A good challenge there from Mateus Nunes. And a free kick and a throw in there to Fulham. We should take it quickly now. Alex Iwobi chips the ball into the penalty, looking for the run of, well, Jimenez. And it goes through to the goalkeeper in the end and remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 0 here this evening. Good start here after 13 minutes. Still Fulham 0, Manchester City 0 if you're just joining us this afternoon or morning or evening, depending where you are across the world. We really do love to have you with us. If it's your first time here, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And later on, we'll give you the player of the match, sponsored by Football Live this evening. And now, he drops the ball back here to Gianluigi Donnarumma. Donnarumma goes it to Ruben Diaz. Diaz will get this ball forward. Here's Phil Foden. Good ball from Foden. How wide it goes now to Mateus Nunes. Infield to Haaland. Now Doku. Nico O'Reilly's held the penalty. O'Reilly's still going. And Fulham managed to clear. And it comes off O'Reilly as well. And Fulham did absolutely fantastic there to win a throw-in. Good start. And a really good game thus far today. And it remains Fulham 0, Man City 0, 15 minutes gone here in the Premier League. Week number 14. Really happy you could join us tonight in the only midweek Premier League action that we've got here on the channel for you. The live action of the weekend. Make sure you tune in then. Here's Gonzalez. Infield it goes to Ruben Dias. Josko Gavaria. He can bring this ball forward. Now here is Nico Gonzalez. Out wide to Mateus Nunes. Nunes back in field to Ruben Dias. Foden. Gonzalez. Also known as Nico on back of his shirt. And there is Iwobi, can't get there. Cleared away. Only as far as Diaz. Coming forward again, Ruben Dias. Right inside this Mateus Nunes. Jumped in towards the penalty area. Wilson heads it away. Back for Fulham there. Only as far as Gonzalez again. Nico Gonzalez. Infield to Foden. Nico again. O'Reilly. Nico. A bit of word there. Here's Foden. Doku. Low cross in. And he breaks. And it's goal number 100 for Erling Haaland as Manchester City take the lead. Erling Haaland with the goal. Goal 100 for Manchester City in the Premier League. And he's finally done it tonight. He's going to do it against Leeds United on the weekend. He has done it tonight against Fulham. Doku with the assist. Haaland with the goal. And Manchester City lead by a goal to nil. Wonderful bit of play. Foden out wide to Doku. And Doku broken. Full legs of Reinders. And there he is. Firing home to score his 100th goal in Manchester City colours in the Premier League. He is none other than Erling Haaland. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. And that's the opening goal of match week number 14. And that is, he's the fastest player to reach 100 Premier League goals as well. And coming up on 18 after 18 minutes gone here, it is Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. Who else but Erling Haaland? First appearances to 100 goals in Premier League history. Haaland, 111 appearances. Alan Shearer, one after him, with 124 appearances. What a big difference. What a monster Erling Haaland has become. Sessegnon bad there to Ben Leno as Fulham now have it all to do. Here is Anderson. Good bit of play to Sanderberg. Now in field to Tete. Good bit of play that. That just has a look he actually found. And he's now back here. It goes. Here is Joachim Anderson again. Leno now has possession as Fulham now need to get something from this game. Need to get the next goal because the next goal will be crucial. With that man Erling Haaland who has got it. Wilson, good ball through. He's giving the ball away to Ruben Dias. Into Nico. Doku. Good play from Doku into O'Reilly. Down the line he goes to Doku again. Wonderful run from Doku. Is he blow down there? Referee says no, play on. Says Craig Paulson, who's the referee. And Paulson is from Sheffield. It is Fulham 0, Manchester United 1, 9.5 minutes gone here in the Premier League. And if you only just joined us and not seen who the match officials are, here are the match officials on your screen right now. If we just take off the ticker just for 1 second, as you can, so you can see the assistant VAR there as well. Well, there are your match officials for tonight if you're late coming into us here on the commentary hub for the coverage tonight as we watch this game unfold. Still goalless at the Vitality Stadium between Bournemouth and Everton. But there's been an opening goal of the game here at Craven Cottage for midweek Premier League football, match week number 14. As there is a ball for, looking for the run there of Ryan Sessegnon, who is in behind Mateus Nunes. Read the situation well, and now it's Jeremy Doku to Johnny Reinders. Reinders sends the ball over the top to Erling Haaland. Haaland does well, holds up the play well. Still going Erling Haaland. But then Calvin Bassey wins it for Fulham. He's over halfway. Calvin Bassey still going. He plays it out wide to Alex Iwobi and he continues his run. But Smith on the outside of him. Iwobi, low bowling, looking close. Jimenez is cleared away by Manchester City. Foden goes down and wins a free kick for the citizens, and that's good play in the end, and remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. If you're only just joining us, he's none other than who else but Erling Haaland with the goal. And you look here, when he went through a few moments ago, he really should have done better there against Calvin Bassey. Bassey got the better of him, and he broke away well. But the final ball from Alex Iwobi was poor. Manus goes down. He's found Doku anyway. Diaz finds Bernardo Silva. Out wide is Mateus Nunes. Goes back by Sessegnon. Bernardo Silva again there. Here comes Manchester City in possession. Diaz to Bernardo Silva to Nico. Now Foden. And now Silva with a good crossfield pass, looking for the run there of Nico O'Reilly, who almost won it off Kenny Tete, but found Wilson in space instead as the Fulham defender. And we'll keep you bang up to date with the Premier League action today until we come off air this evening. Here is Manchester City in possession with Nico. What can Nico do here with the ball? It's into Reinders to Vardiol. Back to Donnarumma, who keeps all the possession well for Manchester City. Here's Doku. Good control from Jeremy Doku, who then he loses out. And now Smith Rowe with possession. He's got Iwobi outside of him and he finds him. There's Alex Iwobi up against Mateus Nunes. Doku will cross there to help out on the right hand side this time. Pass it back to Iwobi. He fell to Smith Rowe inside the penalty. And Smith Rowe shot is saved, and there was no one falling in from Fulham persuasion there. But Fulham, good response to going a goal behind. Here's Tete now. Ball is played forward, and he's picked up here by Gianluigi Donnarumma. But what a good bit of play this is again. It's a wonderful turn from Emil Smith Rowe. Run legs of Ruben Dias. And you can see as he goes through the legs, he sees it late there. Gianluigi Donnarumma. And he does well to adjust his body and get down there and form it to safety in a good position. In a safe position as well. Here's Reinders though, who goes down on the challenge of Tete. Free kick to Manchester City in the end. What a game it has been here thus far. 24 minutes on the clock, and it's Fulham 0, Manchester City 1 in the Premier League if you're just joining us tonight. Haaland's 100th Premier League goal is the difference. Berg out wide to Alex Iwobi. Back into Berg again. Iwobi once more. Here is Smith Rowe. Goes down on the edge of the penalty area. No free kick given. Bernardo Silva gets his ball away. Foden tries to come away and it goes down. Free kick. And will this be a card? Yeah, let's have a look. The referee produced a card here for Alex Iwobi. Ruben Dias was the man who actually went down. And it was actually Calvin Bassett. Does he pick up a Buccaneer Calvin Bassett? Let's have a look at this. No, it doesn't look like it. Which remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 1 in the Premier League. Here is Nico O'Reilly. Good one here from Manchester City, left back. How wide he goes to Jeremy Doku. O'Reilly now part of the England setup as well. Good ball into Josko Vardio. Nunes. How wide to Bernardo Silva. Here is to Johnny Reinders. Bernardo Silva again. Back to Nunes. Nico now. Good crossfield pass from Nico to find Doku. Left hand side of the penalty area. Jeremy Doku low high hanging ball in towards the back post. There is Reinders. Back he goes to Mateus Nunes. What's in? Haaland is there. And Haaland heads it over the top of the crossbar. Really should have been double in the league there. Should Erling Haaland. But in the end, he couldn't keep it down. He actually came off of the back of Sasa Lukic. So City will have a corner kick here, which to Johnny Reinders will come across the take here from Manchester City. Reinders will look to double City's advantage here from this corner by creating the goal scoring opportunity. Doku with the ball back in, blocked by Smith Rowe. Doku let it go out for a throw it. When really there, in my opinion, should have kept it in and kept the pressure on Fulham. And there is Phil Foden who leaves it to Mateus Nunes. Nunes. I like to Foden back to Nunes again. Bernardo back in towards Nunes, everywhere by Sessignon. Foden's there, Haaland, Nunes, cleared away by Calvin Bassett this time. There is a by Josko Vardio. And the ball from Joachim Andersen is poor, and out of play, it goes for a throw-in to Manchester City. O'Reilly takes down line for Doku. Infield to Nico. Good turn to find Vardio. Vardio gets the ball forward into Phil Foden. Loses out there initially. Breaks now for Ruben Dias. Good ball into the path there of Nico. Good bit of work here now for Manchester City as they keep hold of possession. Here's Doku infield. It goes. Without the return pass from Nico O'Reilly is pulling it out of play as the rain starts to come down here at Craven Cottage now. And right on the banks of the River Trent, of the River Thames, should I say, not Trent, I almost said the River Trent, but it's the River Thames. And it remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 1, 28 minutes on the clock. Thanks to the goal from Erling Haaland. We'll finish off a lovely move from Manchester City, sent in by Jeremy Doku. And it was finished off superbly well. Here comes Fulham now with Lukic to O'Reilly. Good. And O'Reilly can't keep the ball in play. And he will go out of play for a throw-in. To Manchester City though, off with Harry Wilson. And here's Bernardo Silva. Almost left hand side. Doku can't get there. Wilson can. Smith Rowe backs in. Here's Joachim Andersen, who's faster and a bit braver than Erling Haaland there to make sure Fulham were on possession. He's back now with Calvin Bassett, who goes back to Joachim Andersen, who was braver and smarter than Erling Haaland a few moments ago. Bassett this time to Sessignon. That's Alex to work. The return pass to Iwobi, can't find him from Sanderberg. And the Norwegian international midfielder asked questions of Iwobi there, but that was a poor communication from the midfielder rather than poor communication from Alex Iwobi, in my personal opinion. Here is Diaz out wide. Here now, here comes Manchester City with possession. Diaz finds Jimenez. So we now back to Jimenez once more. Popping out Bernardo, who can challenge to win it back, but it's Alex Iwobi who comes out on top. Emil Smith-Rowe. Back he goes now to Cesar Lukic. And he gets the balance. Lukic from Anderson, but the portals from Lukic this time. And it remains Fulham 0, Man City 1, 30 minutes on the clock as we approach the final 50 minutes of this first half. And it remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 1, thanks to Erling Haaland's goal early on in Premier League. He scored after just 17 minutes, should I say. Not 11 minutes, 17 minutes was on the clock when he scored. And now is Jimenez and try with Wilson. And Wilson goes down here. It's back into Joachim Andersen. How wide it goes now. And Kenny Tete. Down the line it goes to Sasa Lukic. Is blocked and put behind for a corner. Fulham have responded well since going to go behind as we watch on in this game tonight. As we bring you the Premier League clash here from Craven Cottage. I also will take the corner kick here. It's got Sasa Lukic close by in attendance with him. Craig Porter from Sheffield having a word with the players inside in the middle of the penalty area for a moment. As Wilson will leave it for Lukic to take. And Lukic leaves a good cross in. Emil Smith-Rowe, whose effort is just over the top of the crossbar. He felt Smith-Rowe inside the penalty area. And Emil Smith-Rowe's effort goes over the top here. He bounces up towards him. And his bounces, he gets his strike, and he's always going to go over the top with a bounce like that. And Emil Smith-Rowe can't keep the effort down there. Remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 1 in the Premier League. As Batty goes down on the chance of Erling Haaland. Play continues as there was no free kick in there. It remains Fulham 0, Man City 1 in the Premier League as we watch this game unfold. Here's Smith-Rowe wide. Wonderful bit of play into Alex Iwobi. Ball is further out wide here to Harry Wilson. Wilson with the crossing towards the penalty area. He's headed away. Here's Phil Foden's ball forward. He can't get there. Haaland is down off of the ball here with following a challenge from Calvin Bassey. So let's see what's going to happen here with the referees holding the foot here. Is Erling Haaland. I'm missing as I was following the ball. Didn't really see what was happening with the effort there. Let's take a look at this again. And I missed it for a second time as he was following the ball. And on the replay, this to have been called by Calvin Bassey off the ball. There does Erling Haaland. And Joachim Andersen, the Fulham captain, is being spoken to by Craig Paulson. This is a goal from Erling Haaland. Good ball in from Jeremy Doku. And he finished off well there. Wonderful finish with his left foot. Firing it beyond and too high over Byrne Leno there, and the pace on the ball. With the rain coming down on it, it's hard to save them. And that it was always going to end up in the back of the net, with City celebrating the opening goal of the game. There's a throw now to Fulham after a ball down this City left went out of play as O'Reilly tried to get the ball forward. Is Kenny Tete with possession for Wilson. And now Haaland has scored 71 goals with his left foot, 11 with his right. 17 with his head, one with another, and the others was as well. Now we'll try and bring you that stats at half time before we head back to Nicholas, because that was an interesting breakdown of his goals there for Erling Haaland, of his 100 Premier League goals for Manchester City. And he's the beast in this Manchester City side. He was kept quiet by Pascal Struijk of Leeds United at the weekend. Struijk marshalled him well. Jeremy Doku config out to Johnny Randers as Fulham win possession back. Here's Anderson for Lukic. Back to Anderson once more, and it remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 1 here in the Premier League. If you're just joining us this afternoon, or this morning, or this evening, depending where you are in the world. Haaland on the edge of the penalty for Randers. Randers will up to line up for Shovelly. No, he tries to play it through for Jeremy Doku. He's had the penalty. Doku, of course, Haaland is blocked. And he will go away for a throw-in to Manchester City, but Fulham defending the numbers there. Wow, wow, wow. He's just onside as well. Kept on by Calvin Bassett. And Jeremy Doku's shot was blocked. So too was Haaland's. And Fulham live a sigh of relief. Here's O'Reilly. Back into Varney, and Model will look forward. Here is Ruben Dias. Haaland is there. Good turn. And through to Randers, to Johnny Ryder. 2-0 Manchester City. And Manchester City double their lead. It's to Johnny Reinders with the goal just before half time. And Manchester City on 37 minutes double their advantage. Haaland as well. And to Johnny Reinders, he's played through and he chips over the legs of Berlino. Full appeal through offside. I didn't see anything wrong with it. I'd imagine VAR would be checking it as well. We know where the VAR's checking this one just yet. Well, it's Fulham 0, Manchester City 2. Who else but to Johnny Reinders with the goal. And what a finish that was there. His second Premier League goal of the season. And Fulham trail by 2-0 now. It's Fulham 0, Manchester City 2 in the Premier League right now. And you've got to really say that to Johnny Reinders, that was a superb finish there. But can Fulham hit back before half time? Here is Fulham 0, Man City 2 if you're just joining us, and what a start to this game. Here is Kenny Tete, down the line he goes to Sasa Lukic. Lukic now is forced over by Nico O'Reilly, and we're coming up towards the final 6 minutes of this first half. If you're just joining us tonight, it is Fulham 0, Manchester City 2. Then Erling Haaland and to Johnny Reinders, the goal scorers in this game. Haaland on 17 minutes, Reinders on 37 minutes. And Fulham try to get the goal back as they come forward again here now. Well, City win the ball back momentarily, but back to Iwobi as Fulham try to pull the goal back before half time. Here they come now. Fulham down this right hand side. Iwobi's come across this right hand side, but it's locked out as the ball is hit forward from Nico O'Reilly. Breaks now to Sasa Lukic. Out wide to Harry Wilson. Infield to Sander Berg. Berg out wide to Ryan Sessegnon. And there's Smith Road backwards. It goes from him to Calvin Bassett. into the final 6 minutes of this first period. And it remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 2 in the Premier League, if you're just joining us tonight. What a game we have got for you, as we've got still goalless in the other Premier League game that's underway already. Bournemouth against Everton. Coming up shortly, kick-off at 8:15. So in 5 minutes' time, the kick-off there will be for Newcastle against Tottenham in the Premier League. But here, the Craven Cottage is City, who are in commanding control, leading by 2-0. And now, O'Reilly, a bit of play to Vardiol, and he goes all the way back here to Gianluigi Donnarumma. Good play here from Manchester City, who look to cause a few problems tonight and look to close the gap on Arsenal in the Premier League tonight as well. Arsenal's lead has been cut to 2 points. So if Arsenal were to slip up tomorrow night against Brentford, it could be potentially advantage Manchester City in the title race. Especially if Arsenal split both tomorrow night and at the weekend. Here is Bernardo. Back it goes now. Then here they come. The two Rangers round the corner for Durko. Foden now has possession. Wonderful ball over the top as Haaland is almost in behind it for City. Good piece of defensive play from Kenny Tete up against Erling Haaland. Now Nico into Foden. And it's Rangers this time. A little bit of play for Haaland. Durko. Offside flag is up there. And Durko's just given the ball away. Really should be booked here. There's Noel Gallagher from Oasis in the crowd. He won't be looking back in anger. He should get the job done tonight. As a shot is put behind by Sanderberg. After City break down the left hand side again. Jamie Durko in a good promising position again. And it remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 2 in the Premier League. So Johnny Reinders to take this corner kick then. He's got City's second. Foden with the first. Who will get City's third if they are score the third tonight? Reinders will corner in. Leno punches out. Only as far as Foden! Oh, what a goal that is! 3-0 Manchester City lead. And it's Phil Foden just before half time to put the icing on the cake. And is Manchester City, who lead by 3-0 just before half time. And really, you would have probably expected City to do this, what they're doing to Fulham tonight, to Leeds United at the weekend. But it didn't turn out that way in the game there. It remains Fulham 0, Manchester City 3, with a fantastic goal from Phil Foden. Just look at this. Leno shot out and Foden just opened up his body and just whipped it into the top corner. Burn Leno. If you're going to get it clean, make sure it goes further than Phil Foden. And if he goes to Phil Foden, close him down a bit quicker. It's now really there. He's a man who, if you leave a lot of space for, can punish you. Fulham 0, Man City 3 before half time. The game this has been his fourth Premier League goal of the season, and he scored 2 of those 4 against Leeds United on the weekend, and he's got another one tonight. What a game we have got here this evening. And we're into stoppage time now at the end of this first half, and we can tell you there will be 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first period. And will City go and grab a fourth? Another ball like that, as they've considered a corner. Just gone far up way behind. There's James Trafford, who I mentioned at the top of the show once, in the way out. He's watching on from the bench there. Linda's watching on as well, with Colo Toure next to Pep Guardiola. All three of them having a chat as Harry Wilson will look to take this corner kick for Fulham to try and get them back into this game. Fulham, if they ought to get anything out of this game, really need this next goal, because otherwise it could get ugly for them. And wonderful bit of play. Here's Wilson. Low crossing, and then from Smith Rowe, and he's pulled the goal back for Fulham. Emil Smith Rowe has pulled one back for Fulham in first half stoppage time. I said Fulham needs to get the next goal if they are to get anything from this game. And that lifeline there has cut City's lead to just 2 goals. Wonderful bit of play for Alex Iwobi. Wilson onside, it looks like. Ball back in. Headed from Emil Smith Rowe into the back of the net. Gianluigi Donnarumma could have no chance. And Emil Smith Rowe has put the cat amongst the pigeons now. And it is Fulham 1, Manchester City 3 in first half stoppage time. The goal does stand. No offside in the build-up like potentially it could be. And Fulham could potentially, if they get one now, could really be game on in the second half. Lukic. Notice him across blocking that box there. Berg now. Tete. And then Tete backwards again to Anderson, across to Calvin Bassett. What a game we've got here today. Emil Smith Rowe. One for a bit of player. Crossed in from Iwobi. He's cleared away. Haaland tries to help it clear, but he's back towards his own opinion, and Reiner's slices it out of play for a throw-in. Here they come now with Tete in possession. Out wide to this right hand side for Harry Wilson. Couple of in from the touchline. Tete back to Wilson. Back to Tete to Anderson inside the centre circle, inside the City half of the field. Closing stages of this first period. Will we see another goal before half time? Tete needs to get it forward quickly if we do, if we will. But we won't, as the half time whistle has blown here at the Craven Cottage. And at half time it is Fulham 1, Manchester City 3 at half time. And I'll run you through the scorers at half time just before we do go for a break. So, the scorers. Haaland on 17 minutes, but Man City 1-0 up. Reiner's double the lead 20 minutes later on 37 minutes. Foden then made it 3-0 just before half time. And then in first half stoppage time, Emil Smith Rowe pulled one back for Fulham. But at half time, in the Premier League, here at Craven Cottages, Fulham 1, Man City 3. These Club SA game is just going between Newcastle and Tottenham. And the half-time whistle is blown between both Livingston to take that score and remind you of what fixtures are coming up in the Premier League for the remainder of this game week. It's time for me to hand back to the alternative host with the most stats. Is Nicholas Jones.
Thanks, Ross. I don't know so much about host. I don't know so much about host with the most, but there we go. 3-1 to Manchester City. Just got time to go through the other results as well. At half-time, or coming up to half-time, I should say, it still remains AFC Bournemouth 0, Everton 0, Fulham 1, Manchester City 3 we know about, and we're 5 minutes in to Newcastle United against Tottenham Hotspur. That score is 0-0. So all I can, and yes indeed I can confirm it is half time in the Bournemouth Everton match, and before we go in, I have to say, Russ, Erling Haaland, 100 goals. Wow, incredible.
Yes, Nicholas, absolutely incredible from Erling Haaland. You can just see how much he meant to him to get his 100th goal. What a way to do it. Wonderful bowling from Doku and a fantastic finish as well. And you've got to say, City really dominating that first half. They'll be poor with the goal that they conceded, but at half time, Fulham could have no complaints. They've been poor in that first half. That Smith Rowe goal does give them a little bit of glimmer of hope, but City, you've seen from their quality tonight, they could have had more than the three, Nicholas. Fulham have been all over the shop. City have been pure dominant.
And I swear that Erling Haaland is Norway's biggest sporting superstar since former World Rally champion Petter Solberg back in the early 2000s. But that's another completely different sport. Fulham bringing back the deficit with Emile Smith Rowe. Russ did say that was a glimmer of hope, but do you think more goals for the Cottagers could be on the way in the second half?
I'm not sure, Nicholas. Need to improve if they are to do that, Nicholas. Need to get better in the final third if they are to do that, because when you look at it, Fulham, yes, they've had some decent possession, but they've not really done anything with that possession. City have been dominant when they've got possession and with the chances they've created. Fulham, on the other hand, have been wasteful when they've got the possession. So for me, you need to do much, much better.
Okay. Thanks for now, Russ. We're going to take. Okay, thanks for now, Russ. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back before the start of the second half. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Commentary Hub's alternative audio coverage of Fulham against Manchester City, where it's been very much Manchester City all the way. And Russ, how many more goals will Manchester City get?
Well, Nicholas, I don't want to put a number on it because it could be any number, Nicholas. We're the playing so far. All could have had at least 3 of his own with the chances he's had, or at least a couple. Anyways, had a shot blocked, as well as already scoring one. We've been close a number of times of City, but Fulham have defended well in points, but not so well in other points. But I don't really want to put a number on as many goals, but I do see City getting more goals in this. However, to caveat that, sometimes when teams are in a good lead like this, sometimes they can sit back, invite pressure on, and maybe concede a few goals. And with City's quality there that they've got in the starting lineup, and then ones that they've got to come off of the bench, look who they've got on the bench who can score goals. You've got Mamouche, you've got Rico Lewis, who's netted a few this season. Cherky can score, Savinio, Stones, Ake can score a few. So there's a number of players on the bench who can score. However, if they sit back and relax, then City, that could invite pressure on, and we could see Fulham potentially score goals. But for me, City defensively, apart from that lapse in concentration, face off stoppage time, have been brilliant today. So I can't see Fulham getting many goals in the second half, if I'm honest. I could see City maybe getting, I'll say probably about number 3 to make it say 6-1 at full time. But for me, I can't see Fulham mainly getting on the score sheet in the second half. But I could be wrong, Nicholas. We could see more goals from Fulham and none from City, and potentially see a turnaround. But we'll have to wait and see on that one, Nick.
The halftime break may well have changed things. But before we get back into it, just take a look at the latest score between Newcastle and Spurs. It's still 0-0 between those two after 18 minutes. So we could be ready to restart for the second half. We should be underway in a few minutes' time. So we're now going to rejoin our commentator, Russ Vernon.
Thank you very much, Nick, as you join us with the teams about to come back out of the tunnel. Fulham are back out there. Looks like Fulham are making a double change at half time by the looks of it here. Yes, I can see Griffith Castagna, who has come on for Kenny Tete at right back. And also Sasa Lukic has come off at half time to be replaced by Samuel Chukwueze, who is also on at half time as well. And you've got to say that this has been a good first for needed to change something. And with those two changes, you've got to say those two will probably be the one that could get Fulham back into it as we get ready for the start of the second half to get underway right any second. Now back underway in the second half, where the second half has just got underway with a ball down this near side of Samuel Chukwueze is offside early on in the second half. As we see this game, unfortunately, it's actually going to have to play for a throw-in. But the couple of changes, just to remind you, for Fulham, sees Samuel Chukwueze come on to replace Sasa Lukic, and Timothy Castagna comes on to replace Kenny Tete at half-time. Those will be updated on your screens any second now, so you can see those appear on your screen when any subs are made. to win through the team again in just a moment or two's time. There's Samuel Chukwueze just plays it back to Calvin Bassey. There's Joachim Anderson. So the teams then for Fulham is Ben Leno in goal, Timothy Castagne, Joachim Anderson, Calvin Bassey, and Ryan Sessegnon. Sanderberg and Alex Iwobi has dropped back into the defensive midfield roles now, with Wilson, Smithrow, and Chukwueze behind Raul Jimenez in the attack. As for City, then no changes for them. He's Donnarumma in goal, Nunes, Diaz, Vardiol, O'Reilly, Reinders, Gonzalez, Bernardo, Foden, Haaland, and Doku in the attack. Those are the changes at half time as we get Fulham on the attack early on. Is a throw which was won there by Kenny Tete. Oh, not Kenny Tete, Timothy Castagne off of Joshua Gavardo. Tete has gone off at half time. Here's Alex Iwobi dropped back into defensive midfield role. Here is Calvin Bassey. Out to Ryan Sessegnon. Back to Iwobi. Now Chukwueze. One full away from Nico Gonzalez. And there is City to win the ball back, and Reinders can charge forward. Split into Jeremy Doku up against Timothy Castagne. He does well there, does Castagne. Is balling through to Haaland. He breaks for Phil Foden. And that is City's number 4. And Phil Foden grabs his second of the game and his 5th of the season. It's Fulham 1, Manchester City 4. Thanks to Phil Foden in the start of the second half. Wonderful play. And Manchester City have a 4th, as I said. And it's that man, Phil Foden. And he's on for an hat-trick, just like he was on the weekend. With his second of the weekend came in stoppage time. And he is now Fulham 1, Manchester City 4. Look at this through the breakaway. Reinders into Haaland. Back to Reinders, back to Doku. And Doku just holds up the play well. And he plays the ball looking for Haaland. Clever back heel. Finds Phil Foden in space. And Phil Foden finishes off nicely beyond Ben Leno and give Manchester City a comfortable 4-1 lead. And I did say they could potentially get 3 more. It could be more than 3 now, with how fast that goal was at the start of this second half. Latest score here from Craven Cottage is Fulham 1, Manchester City 4. 4 goals in his last 2 appearances for Foden, and that is his second of the game today. And Phil Foden, my oh my, what a player he is today. There's the header forward. Fulham trying to get something from this game if they can, but not with balls like that. Here's Nunes into aforementioned Foden. Gonzalez turns away. Nico there, does well there. Nico Gonzalez it is. Here's Vardiol. Down the line it goes to Jeremy Doku. Doku with the ball forward looking for O'Reilly. Wilson's there. Ryan's trying to buy back to get the ball off Sanderberg. But Sanderberg can't keep the ball in there for Fulham, and he's out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City. Good start to this second half if you're just joining us. And Manchester City has been absolutely fantastic today, and deserve nothing more than praise, because the way they've responded to tonight, yes, I know they won against Leeds United, but the way they responded to that setback against Leeds is tonight has shown massively. Yes, they considered they winner against Leeds on the weekend, did City, but tonight it has been absolutely superb compared to recent weeks. As Fulham trying to come down their right as Jimenez goes down as the free kick has been awarded for a foul on Raul Jimenez. Still 25 minutes gone at St James's Park. Newcastle 0, Tottenham 0, and also still goalless at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Everton. They were a minute behind in that game in the second half. They kicked off a minute later than us here near Craven Cottages. Will be charging forward for Fulham. Wonderful bit of play in towards the penalty. Will be crossfield ball to Wilson at the back post. Jimenez shot his blood by Nico Gonzalez. Goes down. The referee says play on. Sanderberg out wide. Gonzalez back up now. Wilson. Smith Rowe, good bit of play. Anderson. Berg. Wilson. Towards Smith Rowe again. He bounces inside the penalty for Guardiola to clear away. Only as far as Iwobi for Batsy. Good play this. At the start of the second half. Just to remind you in a moment of your match officials. We'll bring you those officials again in just a moment. At the start of the second half. Here comes Samuel Chukwueze, who charges infield. Wonderful bit of play. Emil Smith Rowe fires high wide. And not so handsome in the end. And Nico is down. He's just getting a bit of treatment from the referee, just checking with him there. But Craig Porton is the referee, by the way. Lee Best, Man Wilkes, the assistants. John Harrington for official. VAR is Paul Howard and Adam Nunn. There you just see that shot which went over the bar there in the end. There is Emil Smith Rowe who saw that shot go eye wide and not so handsome. And Varlev on the edge of the penalty area. As we just see this run again, it was a shot from Iwobi who played the ball backwards into Wilson, who teed up Jimenez, and there was a shot from Jimenez who just struck Nico right in the midriff there, and painful ones of those as Nico tries to get the ball away for City. The ball is in towards the Fulham penalty area once more. Here's Bernardo Silva as they try to come away now. City with possession. Foden back on the edge of his own penalty area at the end where he scored a brilliant goal just before half time. For City 3-1 up, and then scored down the other end a few moments ago to put it 4-1 up. As Fulham have to charge back in numbers with City on the charge forward. Foden. Doku. O'Reilly can't get there. Given away by Castagna. And Doku! Oh my word, that is brilliant! It is 5 for Manchester City. Jeremy Doku gets on the score sheet this time. And Manchester City are running away with this one completely. Jeremy Doku, take a bow. It's Fulham 1, Manchester City 5. My oh my. Jeremy Doku, take a bow here. You see that both on Foden, basically is it back, and then they've given it away. Anderson gave it away, and then he just cuts inside the penalty area. Bassi gave it away. Anderson gave it straight to Doku, who puts into the box, and then finds it between Castagna and Berg, takes a deflection off the knee of Sanderberg, and goes beyond the goalkeeper's reach. And it's Fulham 1, Manchester City 5 here tonight. And that was absolutely sublime. Manchester City are running away with this now. And they did the Poznan there where they just turn and bounce up and down. Almost 10 minutes going into the second half. And we could see City score even more goals than what I predicted. It is Fulham 1, Manchester City 5 now. And the scorers, Haaland, Reinders, Foden with a brace, Doku for Manchester City, Smith Rowe for Fulham. Here's Chukwueze, who's dispossessed. Mateus Nunes is charging forward. And he pulls the ball back here. What can City do now? Can they get even more goals than what they have done before? Here is Iwobi for Fulham, who will try and get another consolation goal for Fulham. And I'll say try because City not giving him much space to work in. There's Castagna with the ball for Emil Smith Rowe. in the corner. He's got Gvardiol close by him. Wilson with the cross in. Taking deflection. Alex Iwobi! Unfortunately back to Fulham. And Alex Iwobi fired it into the back of the net on 56 minutes. And it is Fulham 2, Manchester City 5. And that would probably go down as a consolation goal for Fulham this year in the second half. Smith Rowe does well. Wilson's cross, he takes the deflection out to Iwobi and he fires it into the bottom corner. From a similar sort of position that Phil Foden scored in the first half. The only difference is this goes in the bottom corner. Foden's went into the top four corner. But what a finish that was from Alex Iwobi from outside the penalty area. And it's Fulham 2, Manchester City 5. Nico does well here back to Gianluigi Donnarumma. As City look to come forward again. It's Phil Foden. Ball through towards Erling Haaland. Too much on that pass through towards Haaland there. And that's a good piece of defensive work there as we watch on in this Premier League encounter tonight. And Manchester City, for me, could be Arsenal's nemesis in the title charge. Stay on a good run at the moment, City. Wilson, can they win a corner here? The referee says goal kick to Manchester City. But what a game this has been. A brace for Phil Foden on the weekend against Leeds United. A brace tonight as City lead now by 5-2 in the game here at Craven Cottage. And you've just got to say that City, and I'm just looking at that challenge again, and that could have been a corner. That should have been a corner to Fulham. But the referee's given a goal kick to Manchester City. And the referee says he's adding the time on. How long has he took Donnarumma here? And I'm surprised he's not gone down with a tactical injury today. Gianluigi Donnarumma like he did the other weekend against Leeds United. Here comes Fulham in possession with Emil Smith Rowe. I wanted Timothy Castagna. Back into Smith Rowe again. Sanderberg. Smith Rowe once more. And Sanderberg once more. Now Alex Iwobi. How wide is Samuel Chukwueze? Chukwueze with the ball in towards the 13. Well, Jimenez, he shot his saved by Gianluigi Donnarumma. Excuse me. But the flag was up for offside against, well, Jimenez. You can clearly see he is offside. The correct call from the linesman over on that far side there. It's still 0-0 of the vitality between Bournemouth and Everton. And it is still 0-0 at St James's Park between Newcastle and Tottenham. In this game today, we've almost played an hour here at the Craven Cottage, where it is Fulham 2, Man City 5. And the ball goes out of play for a throw-in, well, for a corner. No, I mean a goal kick to Fulham, which have taken quickly as John Stones prepares to come on. For Manchester City. I wonder who will be coming on for. Probably an attacker to go and strengthen at the back. Will be my guess. After we will replace in this game, as we see Fulham in possession with Harry Wilson. Rolling towards Jimenez, who brings it down well on his chest and then pulled behind by Mateus Nunes, who's defending this really, really well there. And I am told Then number 27 for Manchester City, which is, I think maybe mean 26 Nicholas, because number 27 is already on for Man City in Mateus Nunes. Number 26 in Savinho, maybe preparing to come on as well, as a ball into the penalty area. Edge of the penalty from Chukwueze shot back into the penalty area. No problem, Nick. As it is Iwobi for Chukwueze goes down. No free kick. And now Doku is away on the side. Session's up against him. And Ryan Session gets back to defend really, really well. There in the end. Here they come, Manchester City, back in numbers as Fulham tried to break over halfway. Sanderberg out wide to Alex Iwobi. Like you see, it looks like it's maybe just John Stones game ready to come on for Manchester City at this moment in time. As we watch on here, we may see Savinho as well, shortly as well, but it looks like it's John Stones out there. Savinho may be getting some final instructions before joining John Stones on the touchline. He's just got Vardio, who can clear this ball away. Only as far as Calvin Bassett, who then lets into Alex Iwobi, breaks into the penalty area. Nico Riley is able, the offside flag is up against Raul Jimenez, who challenged for the ball, and that's why the flag went up against him. As we watch this game unfolding, we can tell you that it will be Savinho as well, and he's number 14, Nico Gonzalez, to be replaced by number 5, John Stones. And also, Jeremy Doku, number 11, will be replaced by number 26, Savinho, in this game. So confirmation of the subs then, Nico Gonzalez replaced by John Stones, and Savinho replaces Jeremy Doku as the two changes there for Manchester City. Still goalless at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Everton. And also the same scoreline as St James's Park coming towards the end of the first period between Newcastle and Tottenham Hotspur, where Fulham here trail by 5-2 against Manchester City. As we watch on here as Fulham are trying to get another consolation goal. Let's just remind you of the scorers if you're just joining us tonight for this game between Fulham and Manchester City. For City's Haaland, Reinders, Foden with a brace, and the man who just been took off, Jeremy Doku. As for Fulham, is Smith Rowe and Alex Iwobi, whose scorers there. As he's Chukwueze now on this near side. Good control. It is back to Alex Iwobi once more. Ball in towards the penalty for Steve. The right session who's crossed in towards the back post. Harry Wilson's there. Chipped it towards the back post again, and he just goes wide. And he's gone behind for an offside. An offside flag was up there from the linesman on that far side. And I can just tell you guys, we've just got a word in here that the 5th Manchester City goal has now gone to Jeremy Doku, as we initially thought, has been credited as a Sanderberg own goal. So Sanderberg own goal, which puts City 5-2 up here against Fulham this evening. Confirmation has just reached us here in our commentary position. A Sanderberg own goal for Man City's 5th goal in the 54th minute of the game this evening. It is Sessegnon for Fulham. He can play it into Chukwueze, who can turn away from his man. Chukwueze, good ball out wide Timothy Castagna. Harry Wilson now with possession. Smith Rowe there too. Sanderberg will go back, who's been accredited with City's 5th goal. And we'll try and get the ball into the penalty area. Breaks for Harry Wilson. Back now to Timothy Castagna. Crossing goes the penalty area. Quickly, here is Emil Smith Rowe. Good ball out wide. He goes there into Sanderberg once more. Sanderberg turns well. Good ball out wide. What can he do here with possession? He's Alex Iwobi. Back he goes here to Joachim Anderson as they will look to keep all of possession from Fulham to try and get a bit of respite from City's attacks at this moment in time. Here is Calvin Bassey, good bit of play, but he's giving the ball away. As here comes Bernardo Silva for Cities. The respite's not happened that much, but he could do again. It's setting on George's fault, but Foden wins the ball back as a throw-in. And Foden will not give the ball back to City, and he chucks the ball away, and that could lead to a yellow card here. We won't. The referee waves play on him. Surprisingly, in this game, as we recording this game, there has been no bookings in this match so far. The referee, Greg Bolton, has kept his cards in his pocket and not produced any yellow cards as of yet, which is rare to see in a Premier League match. Here's Sessegnon. Back it goes to Calvin Bassey. And Bassey can charge forward. Sessegnon again. He goes back here to Bernd Leno. Leno across there now as Fulham look to charge forward. Anderson out wide. He goes, and that's a wonderful ball over the top there from Castagna. Too much on that ball though as he runs through into the arms, grateful arms of Gianluigi Donnarumma. It remains Fulham 2, Man City 5. As here they come again here. Foden. He's played an E1-2 there with John Stones, who is back on possession now inside the centre circle. Cross to the left inside of Josko Gvardiol. Further down the line on the left to O'Reilly. And then further down left is Savinho. Infield to Bernardo Silva. Back he goes to Ruben Dias. And now back into Bernardo. Good ball in there to Reinders. Out wide it goes to Savinho. Savinho's there inside on the left hand side of the penalty. Crossing Haaland off of the post, and that could have been 6 for City. A second for Haaland. So unlucky there. And Manchester City are so unlucky and really should be more in front than what they are doing. It is Fulham 2, Man City 5, with around about 20 minutes left to play. And we'll have a look at, and we'll remind you of the scorers in the second half. We've just looked at this from Haaland again. So unlucky there, Erling Haaland, off of the post. Wonderful ball in. And Erling Haaland rattles the post, and that really should be goal number 6 for Manchester City. And let's remind you of the goal scorers, and after this attack from Fulham. Here is Chukwueze. Good bit of play for Fulham. On this left-hand side. Pulls the ball back to Alex Iwobi. Good centre in, and he goes behind for a goal kick, and that's a good bit of defensive play from Josko Gvardiol, who watched it go behind, and it will be a goal kick to Manchester City. So let's remind you of the goal scorers then, for those who are tuned in late. So it has been Fulham 2, Man City 5. Haaland, Reinders, Vernon with a brace and Sanderberg own goal. Smith throw, Iwobi for Fulham. And it's 5-2 here to Manchester City. As Fulham come forward again. Let's watch this attack here as we watch Chukwueze with possession. Samuel Chukwueze charging forward. Wonderful bit of play here as City look to come forward if they can win this ball back. Ball into the penalty area and a shot, and it's into the back of the net, and Fulham have put another one back. Samuel Chukwueze has made it Fulham 3, Manchester City 5. What a game. What a moment. And the comeback couldn't be on, could it? What a goal from Samuel Chukwueze. We see it is brilliant bit of play. Sanderberg, this time right to Harry Wilson. Castanier's just onside. Left on by Ruben Diaz. His cutback is brought by Bernardo Silva, and then Chukwueze was onto it and fired into the back of the net. No chance for Gianluigi Donnarumma. And that really could be game on now if City concede the next goal. Fulham really need to get this next goal if they are to get to this. I can tell you the Fulham's third goal is being checked by VAR for a possible offside in the build-up. Now, I don't know where the offside could be here, because Wilson is onside as this ball comes out here. No, Wilson, Castanier's onside as the ball comes out on that far side. Looks like it's been kept on by the 33 Nico O'Reilly. From this angle, we're looking at it on the pictures here on the monitor in front of us. There is the VAR down at Stockley Park watching on with the goals here as we just show you the people are watching this goal. Paul Howard and Adam Nunn are the ones checking this goal here for Fulham. So we could have a VAR check for possible. The goal could be disallowed for a possible offside. We're still checking this here. I can't see any offside there. But, so if we walk on this one here, is the offside here? Let's have a look here. No offside there. So it's onside there. Looks like Ruben Diaz plays him on from that angle there. Looking at it. There's Paul Howard and Adam Nunn looking at it in Stockley Park. You see on the monitors here. And we're still checking this score for a possible offside. And if it's being like this, then for me it's not a clear and obvious error if it's taking this long to get offside. It was scored in the 74th minute. We're approaching the 75th minute. Felt like it will stop a little longer. VAR is still checking here. And I can tell you the goal has been given. It is Fulham 3, Man City 5, and that goal does stand. And for me, it was the correct call that the goal should stand there. What? It took so long, but the correct call eventually. So the latest score, we're approaching the final 40 minutes of the game. It is Fulham 3, Manchester City 5 and I'll run you through the scorers again in a moment in this game. And we've just seen that Fulham have made a couple of substitutions here. King is on for Smith Rowe, and Kusit Asare is on for Raul Jimenez in this game. Here Fulham has made a double change there just after that goal. VAR check was confirmed. So just to confirm the substitutes for Fulham, that's just happened just there. Emil Smith Rowe and Raul Jimenez off, and on in their places Yona Kusa Asare and Josh King. Here's the changes there. It remains Fulham 3, Man City 5. We've got 13 minutes to go, and Fulham have a corner. The goal now for Fulham could really put the cat amongst the pigeons in what has been a really good match. Still goals in the other two games, so I'm glad I didn't pick any of those two games. Half time in Newcastle against Spurs right now, and in 78th minute, and in the 77th minute in the other one, and Fulham has scored again, and it's none other than Samuel Chukwueze again. It's 4, Man City 5, and the City could have thrown this game away. What a game! Samuel Chukwueze yet again with 2 goals in the space of 5 minutes. Samuel Chukwueze, what a finish this is. Corner comes in, Donnarumma punches it out, and Chukwueze comes in onto it and fires it into the bottom corner. Donnarumma was flapping, got blocked off by Ruben Diaz, so he couldn't get back onto his line. And Chukwueze comes running in and fires it beyond the goalkeeper. What a game. Fulham 4, Man City 5. Wow. Take a bow. What a game. Right, let me just catch a breath right now. I need to after that. And let's just recap the goal scorers for you, if you're only just tuning into us right now. What a game it has been here. It is Fulham 4, Man City 5. Haaland, Reinders, Fulham with a brace, and Sanderberg for City. Smith Rowe, Iwobi, and a brace for Chukwueze for Fulham. What a game this has been. What a match this has been. I cannot believe what a good game this has been tonight. City with a throw-in, which Reinders will take now. I'm glad I played this one. And there has been a goal in one of the other games taking place in the Premier League this evening. He's come at the Vitality Stadium. That game's still ongoing as we speak right now. And I can tell you, it is both nil, Everton 1, Jack Grealish on loan from Manchester City with the goal for the Toffees. Here come City as they try to extend their lead. Foden. Wonderful play from Foden. Fantastic bit of play. As he wins his side a free kick. There is the City fans watching on, and now some nervous looks on their faces. You'd have thought when they were 3-0 up, they'd have been and osed. And osed. But no. They aren't. Confirmation on my monitor that Jack Grealish has scored for Everton and Bournemouth. Fulham have made another change. They're just trying to work out who it is who's come on. And City are making another change right now. 2. Reinders is off for Manchester City and he is being replaced by number 10, Ryan Cherky. I'm just trying to work out who's gone off here for Fulham. It is Harry Wilson who has gone off to be replaced by Kevin. In this game. It is Fulham 4, City 5. If you're just joining us. What a game we have witnessed today. What a match we have witnessed today. What a ball forward. And he breaks through there towards Josh King, who's trying to go on into it, and Donnarumma just picks up the ball in the end there. And we can, and Fulham have considered a throw-in with good pressure from Fulham to force Man City to try to play out from the back and ending them inside their own half. Go towards the final 7 minutes of this game. It is Fulham 3, Fulham 4, City 5. And there's a man going out to the penalty. Fulham wanting the penalty, and the referee Portland says goal kick. Let's look at this again. He doesn't get the ball there. There's Nico O'Reilly. Kevin Asore goes down inside the penalty area. Kusi Asore goes down in the penalty area. O'Reilly doesn't get the ball. From my view, no penalty being given there. VAR checked as well, and nothing given. Checking for Haaland. And he's back now with Berlino. Out wide to Castagna. Wonderful game we have witnessed today. Fulham try to come forward again here. Josh King. Wonderful run from him. Charging towards the penalty area. Cross is blocked. Behind for a corner to Fulham. And there's a Fulham fan behind that goal trying to get wanting to get the ball. We'll throw it back to the players so they can get on with this corner kick. Next goal will be vital. Next goal will be vital here. Corner kick whipped into the penalty area. It's pulled away. And a free kick will be given to Manchester City. So pressure can be relieved. Wow. What a game. What a Tuesday night football game to bring you. It's been one hell of a game, this. City, we're cruising at 3-1 up at half time. 3-0 at one stage. Then they went to 5-1 up. We went 5-2. We went 5-3. It's now 5-4. And we're into the final 5 minutes of stoppage time. Will we see any more goals in this game? Or will this game have ended the goals here now? City charging forward, trying to mock to their game. And now, here they come. Bernardo Silva goes down and wins a free kick to Manchester City. in towards the final 4 minutes of stoppage time, and we'll give you the player of the match any second now. As we watch this game unfold tonight, will Manchester City have any more goals? In this game for either one of these two sides? And we can give you the player of the match right any second now. We'll give you the player of the match in any second now as the ball comes into the penalty areas. Fulham almost get a fifth there from Chuck Waze, whose effort goes wide. Decent piece of effort there as we watch this game unfold. Wonderful bit of play. Chuck Waze did well. Broke into the penalty and the curling effort just went wide in the end. And we can give you the player of the match, sponsored by Football Live, goes to Phil Foden of Manchester City. 2 goals, 0 assists, and a 9 out of 10 rating from myself for your player of the match this evening, which goes to Man City's Phil Foden. Congratulations, Phil. As we now in towards the closing stages of this game, Manchester City lead by 5 goals to 4. They've won the ball back. They're trying to come forward. Here's Bernardo Silva. Good ball out wide. Savinho. He charges down the right, down City's left-hand side. Now cuts in field towards the edge of the penalty area. Being forced back towards halfway. Ruben Dias to his left, and John Stones. Further left is Nico O'Reilly. A wonderful run here from Nico O'Reilly. He's had a play for a throw-in to Manchester City. Can they get something out of this game? What a game we have witnessed tonight. We have had plenty of goals in this game. 9 in total. Will there be a 10th goal of the game? Here is Phil Foden. Was Erling Haaland. O'Reilly. Good footwork. Sanderberg. Good ball in field by Sanderberg. Towards Anderson, but O'Reilly's there again. Sanderberg goes down. Free kick given to Fulham. O'Reilly remains down. Now gets back up to his feet, but then goes down again. And O'Reilly is down and Fulham played on quickly. Savinho's there for Phil Foden. For City. And Foden's put the ball out as O'Reilly's down on the floor. He's now getting back up. And City will want the ball to be passed back to them. But for me, they should not pass the ball back for them. They should not give the ball back here. Foden getting in the face there of Ryan Seth, of Timothy Castagna, and wanting the ball to be thrown back to him. And Fulham have thrown it back to him, and I wouldn't do that. We're just trying to do a tactical stoppage and play again there, Manchester City. As we go into stoppage time at the end of this game, and I can tell you that there will be a minimum of 8 minutes added time at the end of this game. 8 minutes added time at the end of this game. We're into that now. Here's Kevin. Wonderful ball into the penalty area. As he put the back post. Castagna helped it back into the penalty area. And then back in from Kevin. Cleared away. And again by Manchester City. Only as far as Anderson. Now Bassey. Will Fulham get a winning goal or an equalising goal here, and maybe a winning goal as well? Here they come. Anderson with the ball forward. Is cut out. City trying to get it all under away. Haaland up against Bassett. Haaland wins it forward. It breaks for Savinho. Savinho goes down on the edge of the box. Referee says play on. No foul in there. Poor throw out by Bernleno. Here comes City with Cherky. Good ball to Mateus Nunes. Cherky again. To O'Reilly in support. Nico O'Reilly turns away and keeps all the possession for Manchester City. Nunes turns away too and pulls the ball backwards in out to Diaz on halfway. John Stones is there. More chip forward. Looking for the winner Savinho. With too much on that ball and goes out of play. And Fulham have a throw and they've gone on with it quickly. Here's Joachim Anderson. Now Calvin Bassett. Next goal will be crucial. You would think if City get it, it'll be game, set and match. If Fulham get it, it will look likely to be an equaliser and maybe they could go on to potentially win this game. Good crossfield pass, as here is Kevin now. Wonderful bit of play from Kevin. Nunes is down. Kevin's still going into the penalty area with a free kick. He's been given for a foul on Nunes. And Kevin didn't hear the whistle. But he could get booked. So he'll continue with the play after the whistle had gone. The referee's not booked anybody today. It's been a clean game with no bookings whatsoever. And I can't remember the last time I did a game where there was no bookings at all in the match. What a game we have seen tonight. Will we see any more goals in this game? What a game. Berg. Can't pick out a teammate on that far side. He breaks for Ryan Cherky. Cherky through the legs. Joshko Gavardio trying to set it up at Haaland. And he really should have got a all on his own there. Cherky now. Bernardo Silva back to Cherky once more. Phil Foden, the little magician. Nunes. On halfway is Ruben Dias. Good bit of play. Here, and here can go Manchester City again. Wonderful play forward and he's blocked out and he's behind for a throw-in. What a game of football we have witnessed tonight. And that's going on. I think we tried to play into Haaland in the end. We got it all wrong. As Anderson blocks it on the line. Sessignon is there. Chris Haaland. Down the line he goes to Kevin. And King is there. Kevin's there too. But there should be a booking from Bernardo Silva. And it is. Bernardo Silva. I think it's Ryan Cherky actually. Let's double check. Yes, it is Ryan Cherky. First yellow card of the season for Ryan Cherky after he's just kicked the ball away there. What can Fulham conjure up here? Here is Sanderberg. Good crossfield pass to Kevin. Kevin in field. As Fulham try to find an equalising goal. What do you think of me saying these words at the start of the game? Here's Kevin. Listening to the penalty area. Still going Kevin. Pulls the ball back. No one in there in a white shirt to go on the end of it and City can break. Savinho charging up towards halfway. Joachim Anderson wins the ball back. Chukwueze. Ball forward, giving the ball away. Ryan Cherky's there. Cherky. Wonderful from Ryan Cherky. Too much on that ball forward towards Haaland. And it stays down in Ryan Cherky. Still 0-0 in the as we're into the second half between Newcastle and Tottenham now. With the stoppage time and the Vitality. And in fact, I can tell you the full-time whistle has just gone at the Vitality Stadium. Fulham Everton have beaten Bournemouth by a goal to 0 there through Jack Grealish's goal. It is Bournemouth 0, Everton 1. The full-time score there, 0-0 at St James Park between Newcastle and Tottenham. 53 minutes on the clock there. We had 96 minutes gone here in City and making a substitution here. Our player of the match, Phil Foden, is being replaced by number 6, Nathan Ake. In this game. What a game we have got here tonight. What a moment for Manchester City. They, as it stands, lead 5-4. But Fulham may have one last chance if they can get this ball forward quickly to get an equalising goal. Pass it to Anderson. Time is ticking down. There's a minute left on the clock. If you can do what it says on the top of your screen there, please subscribe and click the bell to get notified when we go live again here on the channel. Here is Kevin. Wonderful bit of play. Kevin with the ball in towards the penalty. And Josh King has had one cleared off the line. So close to a 5-all. City's defence undone yet again. Bodies on the line, manages to clear it for City's. Diaz is put up into the air. We've got 20 seconds left to play. Josh King thought he'd equalise a few minutes ago. It looks like he's going in. But will he clear us off the line? From Yoshko Vardiol. Chukwueze. He gives the ball away. You know, he finds Iwobi. Alex Iwobi. Fulham, based off the second half performance, deserve something out of this game. But football is a cool sport. You don't always get what you deserve. Ball into the penalty area. Stones lets it bounce. Kevin heads it back in. Chukwueze is there. Keeps the move along. Iwobi into the penalty area. Sanderberg, who's already scored in this game, but on the wrong end. Kevin makes it to the penalty area. Still going. Kevin pulls the ball back. Setting on shot is blocked. Behind. It will be a corner. We've played over the 8 minutes of stoppage time. It's now or never for Fulham. Now or never for Fulham in this game. Can Fulham, with this last chance of the game, get an equalising goal? Corner whipped into the penalty, flicked away the near post. Bernardo Silva puts his foot through it, and the referee puts whistle to lips and blows for the full time. What an extraordinary game. What a match. Wow, wow, wow. I need a breather after this one. What a game at Craven Cottage. Full time. Fulham 4, Manchester City 5. And let's take a look at the scorers for you to remind you what happened in this game tonight. What a game. So, Haaland put City 1-0 up on 17 minutes. Reinders then double the lead on 37. Foden then put them 3-0 up on 44 minutes. And then in first half stoppage time, Emile Smith-Rowe pulled one back for Fulham to give Fulham some hope in this game. Foden on 40 minutes extended City's lead again back to 3. Sanderberg own goal on 54 minutes. Point made it 5-1. 5-2 on 56 through Alex Iwobi. 5-3 on 72 from Chukwueze. 5-4 on 78 from Chukwueze. What a game of football we have witnessed tonight. Full time in our game here in what has been a fantastic game of football. Fulham 4, Man City 5. As you can see across the bottom, as the ticker rolls along, But Bournemouth lose by a goal to Everton. Grealish with the goal there. Still 0-0 at Newcastle against Tottenham. We're full time in our match. Here on the TCM this evening, it is finished. Fulham 4, Manchester City 5. Nick, back to you. I need to lie down after that one.
Thanks, Russ. I bet you do. What a fantastic game this was. We thought it was going to be a Manchester City riot all the way, but Fulham came back from nowhere. They were languishing in the first half. They came back stronger, and those 2 goals from Chukwueze might have made all the difference. A pity that Berg scored the only own goal, and to have only 1 booking in this game. That's got to be something. That's got to be an achievement in itself. But I'd say the only downer in this one is the VAR that took so long to come through. So before we go, let's take a look at the results. From the other games for tonight. As Russ mentioned, AFC Bournemouth 0, Everton 1. Our match that we covered, Fulham 4, Manchester City 5. And the latest score is still Newcastle United 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0 after 59 minutes. Remember, 6 games coming tomorrow. 6 games will be on the way tomorrow. Arsenal against Brentford, Brighton and Hove Albion against Aston Villa, Burnley will host Crystal Palace, Wolverhampton Wanderers against Nottingham Forest, Leeds United against Chelsea, and Liverpool against Sunderland. Plus an extra game on Thursday, Manchester United against West Ham United. We could ask, as I mentioned, we could ask Russ about his thoughts, but he needs to rest his voice, and we will let him do so. So that's it from us. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. I've been Nicholas Jones, and we will see you. And don't forget, coming up on Friday, it is the FIFA World Cup group stage draw. Join me and a few guests as we watch who will go where for one of the best sporting competitions on earth. We will see you then. Until then, bye-bye for now.